next slide. Thank you very much. Okay guys, so we're going to talk about cumulative delta, and I've said it a few times obviously in the last slide, but just to ensure that everyone is in the right spot, you've obviously now done all of the footprint, and basically you've just finished stage 2. You've done 2.5, obviously entry versus exit, and then you've done task 4, which was just after 2.5. So you should have been building hypos now, CVA, DVA. When I say that, should make total sense to you. Line in the sand. You finish footprint, and now you're doing cumulative delta. So let's get on and look at cumulative delta. And what it is look, I don't want to overcomplicate it. If I'd never done the foundation with you, then I would have spent hours on this. But look, you're all order flow experts now. You spent months on the depth of market. You've obviously looked at the footprint. You understand delta very well. It's obviously just, as I said in the section many times, it's just buy market orders versus sell market orders. It's just a difference, right? All cumulative delta is, right? Now, what it is if you think of what is happening on a depth of market or even on a footprint, right? Let's look at it in one direction. Let's say that the market's going up here in, this is crude oil, but it could be anything. You've watched the depth of market now probably 100 times. Would you agree? What makes the market go up? Market orders eating into pending orders, right? So let's just make up some numbers. Let's just say 100 printed here, 100 printed here, 100 printed here, 100 printed here, and extreme examples, but nothing printed on this side. And it can happen, right? But obviously, just to show the point, nothing printed here, okay, in any of these columns, and then maybe even another 100 printed here. Would you agree? What's happened to the price? It's moved up, right? Now, if you were to plot this, how would it look? So let's have a look at this. Price over time. Again, we're going to exaggerate the point, but it doesn't matter, right? Imagine this took an hour, whatever, right? 30 minutes, whatever you feel comfortable with. It doesn't matter. The principle's the same. I'm just going to say, let's imagine that this took, an hour, as I said, to go from 2509 to 2514. Okay, so it's basically gone up like that. Would you agree? That's what's happened. What's happened to the delta? Delta and time. Now let's remind ourselves, all delta is very, very simple. Buy market orders inside columns, the difference between that and sell market columns, right? So obviously if the delta is positive, buyers are in control. This is why I suggested go and do the footprint first. This will be so obvious to you now. We're just taking the difference, right? So what is actually happening if this was, in 100 contract increments? Would you agree that we've basically, the delta's going what? Plus 100. Then cumulative delta is just adding the deltas, right? So that's another plus 100. 100 plus 100 is what? 200. Plus 300. Plus 400. Plus 500. Would you agree? It's taken that many contracts to move the market up. So delta's moving with the market, right? That's what happens. You see it. When the price moves up, market orders are printing up. Price moves down, market orders are printing down. That's all that's happening, right? So this can be 1, 200, 300, 400, 500, right? And obviously we can see the price here, like 2508 to whatever that is, 2513. It's basically going up. I'm not going to mark the price. And here, would you agree? All we've done is delta's just gone up. Look, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. You've seen this a million times on the depth of market. Okay, so delta's going up. And this is cumulative delta, because obviously if we had 100, 100, it would just be a flat line. It doesn't make any sense. You're adding, obviously, the amount of positive delta that you're building up as the market moves up, right? Pretty straightforward. So the delta's moving up. The price, it makes sense. What pushes price up, market orders. So it would make sense, the more market orders you got, the more price goes up. And guys, let's look at it the other way. You know, just very briefly, and just so I can squeeze it in, apologies, I'm going to make it very small. Price moves down, right? Price moves down like this in this section, and this time what? You've seen it. Market orders are hitting the bid side, they're hitting bids, going down, being sold, markets being sold again. So you know, here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. You know, in theory, if we had the same amount, should have a similar effect. And again, it's just going to build up, isn't it? So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. And how would this look over time if it happened over this very slowly over an hour? Price would just be floating down as time moved on, right? That's all the depth of market is. You've seen it. The depth of market is the chart. You know this. I've mentioned to you, you get guys just watching depth of market and not a chart. It's basically just telling you what's on a chart anyway. The only thing I'm saying is, you know, delta is showing us the amount of market orders it's taken to move the market, right? And generally, as you've seen it, when market orders are printing up, the price moves up. When market orders are printing down, price moves down. Very straightforward. So again, here we've got, this time it's minus though, isn't it? Because we're selling off. We've got negative market orders, short market orders, minus 100, minus 200, minus 300, minus 400, minus 500. It's cumulative. It's just adding these up, right? So this time, delta does exactly the same thing. Kind of makes sense, isn't it? Market orders are driving the price down. Market orders aggressively going down. Pretty straightforward, right? So now imagine we could, do you remember I said to you, one of the reasons I've just stopped looking at all this stuff is because I said, oh, I pretty much exclusively started using cumulative delta. Because basically, forget I've even mentioned cumulative delta to you. Imagine I said to you, guys, wouldn't it be wonderful if I could have this information and how it is affecting price on my chart? You'd be thinking, yeah, that's wonderful, Envy. Wouldn't have to look at this thing. Wouldn't even need to look at the footprint. Wouldn't need to stare at this whole thing taking up space, moving up and down, obviously giving lots of information. That would be wonderful. Where can I get that? Cumulative delta. All right, guys. So next screen, you're going to see it. I'm basically going to show you this at the bottom of my chart. That's all it is, okay? So hopefully that made sense. We covered everything here. Yeah, we've covered that. Let's go on to the next slide and show you this, basically this bit and this bit, the delta, and then right beneath my price chart. Okay, makes sense when I show it to you. See you in a sec.